The reality is we're living in a really weird time right now, and there's not really any use worrying about things that aren't certain. My cat is playing. Hi, my name's Rebecca. I'm in the Bronx in New York, and today I'm going to be doing some looming and maybe a little bit of yoga as well. Like many people in the country, I'm unemployed right now. I was working as an office manager it was like a hotspot restaurant. I'd only been working there a couple months. I got that job right after the new year, and it was sort of a major career shift for me. I've had like a million jobs since I moved here when I was 19. I've worked in every industry you can think of, and I've worked in every industry that you wouldn't think of. I have this kind of hustler mentality. I do what I need to do to get by. So it was extremely devastating when I lost that job. I was laid off March 16th, and I immediately filed for unemployment. My employer kind of predicted that all of this was going to happen, so we were laid off so that we could file for unemployment as soon as possible. I haven't had to worry about losing my apartment. However, unemployment ends at the end of July, and what's funny about that is I already received another job offer, but because of the pandemic, the starting date is tentative because they have no idea when they're reopening the office. Of course, there's like this paranoia, oh my gosh, they're gonna revoke my job offer, but the reality is we're living in a really weird time right now, and there's not really any use worrying about things that aren't certain. I think the root cause of where all of my stress is coming from is probably coming from the lack of uncertainty, the lack of stability. I've always been kind of an obsessive planner. My calendar was always full 2 months in advance. I knew everything that I was doing. It's weird because you wouldn't think that you could get overwhelmed by not having enough to do. It felt kind of like a nice little vacation the first couple months, but then all of a sudden it felt very overwhelming. I just felt like I was kind of wasting my time, and I just really miss the productivity of my life. That this is the longest that I've ever gone without working. Considering I identify as a workaholic, it's a very harsh blow when that's taken away. You have to be happy in the video. I'm diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder and anxiety. I feel like New York has done a really great job at distracting me from my problems, but it hasn't helped me solve, the struggles that I deal with. My fiance and I, we ended up leaving the city for 3 months to live with his parents in Westchester, which is a suburb about 30 minutes north of us. It was almost alarming how quickly I found my body relax when I left the city. I definitely took that as a sign that I've experienced the excitement that I needed for a certain chapter of my life, but I definitely feel ready for the next chapter. And I don't know exactly what that next chapter is, but I know that I want to head in the direction of owning a home with a yard, having children, having more pets. One, to have come here in the first place, to have lasted here as long as I have, and to also be at a point in my life where I am consciously planning for the future of eventually leaving the city. I think all of those are very privileged places to be in, and I'm very grateful for all of those.